The Parsha, we have the story of Miriam and mainly Miriam, Aaron also. Well, we'll discuss this in a second. They said some things about Moshe Rabbeinu, and they were punished. Okay? It says, but Miriam and Aaron Moshe, Miriam and Aaron spoke about Moshe. They said some things. Now the pasuk says, starts praising Moshe. Moshe was very humble, more than anybody on the face of the earth. So I'm going to answer that in a second. What's the connection? Why do we bring in that? And also, the Chofetz Chaim points out some things which are obvious, pretty famous, but it's a nice verse. So I figured we'll say it over. From this story, we learn out a few very important concepts. One is that the issue of Lashon Hara, the prohibition of speaking ill of someone, applies even if the person that you're talking about is humble. And he doesn't care too much about what people say about him. He's not makbid. He's not particular about what people say about him. That's why the Torah said, right after it says that Aaron and Miriam spoke evil about Moshe and that they were punished, it says that Moshe Rabbeinu was very humble. Why are you bringing that in? Says the Chofetz Chaim, the Torah is trying to show that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't care about what people said about him. He was so humble. Still, Aaron and Miriam were punished for what they said. So what do you see? That's not an excuse to say, oh, he doesn't care. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't care what people said about him, and it was still usher, still prohibited. That's the first lesson. Doesn't make a difference whether or not the person cares or not. First of all, you don't know whether or not they care. But even if they do care, like the Torah is made, the Torah testified Moshe Rabbeinu didn't care. It's still wrong. Another thing we learn out from this story, person might think, you're worried about what I'm going to say about him? You know what I did for him? I saved his life. He owes me his entire life. Are you going to be worried about what I say about him? Klape, consider what I did for him. This is nothing. Now we know that Miriam saved Moshe's life. Minamayim Bishisiyu. Right? I mean, that's what Bishya did. But Moshe Rabbeinu did save, Miriam did save Moshe when he was thrown into the water. She sent Basya to go get him. Although Basya physically was the one that got him, Miriam was involved in saving Moshe Rabbeinu's life. So another lesson you learn from the Chofetz Chaim is it's not an excuse. So I saved his life. He owes me his life. He wouldn't be here if not for me. I can do what I want to him. No matter what you do for somebody, it's not an excuse for being inappropriate to somebody. It's another lesson you learn. Good?
Yeah,
no matter what you...
It's not only about him, it's about the way you behave.
Oh, very good, Shmuel. Very good. Excellent. Doesn't make a difference. It's about you also. Another thing we learn out is interesting. You might think Lashon Hara, that applies to people that I have no connection with. But my own family, I'm not. He doesn't care. It's my own family. And also, the person that I'm telling it to is also family. What happened here? You have a brother and a sister talking Lashon Hara about their own brother. So you have two reasons why you might think it's mutter. Number one, who did Miriam tell it to? Her brother, Aaron. And who were they talking about? Their own brother. But yet it was still usher. It was still wrong. So that's the Chofetz Chaim, a beautiful idea. What do you see from this story? Another idea. That it doesn't make a difference. You might think it's family.
Yeah, no hard feelings.
No hard feelings. We mean well. We obviously mean well because we love each other. Okay? Says the Chofetz Chaim, you see from this, doesn't make a difference. Even if the person you're speaking to is family, and the person that you're speaking about is also family, still awesome. We're going to end with a interesting word from the Kedushas Levi. Torah tells us in Ches 8:8 that in the process of bringing the korbanos, the offerings, v'lochu par ben bakar, and they brought a par ben bakar, a par sheni ben bakar tikach lechatos. So the Rashi tells us that the first time when it says that they brought a par ben bakar, it was a korban olah. Korban olah was a korban that went up, completely burnt on the mizbeach, on the altar. But then in Pasuk Yud Beis it says, "V'aseh esachar chatas." I'm a bakar. What can I tell you? V'esachar olah. So over there it says the chatas and then the olah. So how come it switched the order? Very simple question. Ches, it's olah in front before the chatas, and in Ches Yud Beis it switches the order. Says the Kedushas Levi, the halacha is that by all korbanos, you bring the korban chatos before you bring the korban olah, because first you have to have the kapara, the atonement of the sin, right? The chatos is obligatory. Then you can bring the matana, the present. The korban olah is a present. It's not obligatory, except for the korban of avodah zarah. Why? Avodah zarah is different than any other avera. Avodah zarah, for those who don't know, idol worship. Different than any other avera. The Gemara tells us in Kedushin that by a Yid, by a Jew, the only time you get punished for an avera is if you actually do the avera, you perform the avera. But the mere thought, you don't have to bring a korban for that. It's not considered as an avera. Obviously it is in a certain way, but for all intents and purposes, but again this, as far as bringing a korban, it's not considered an avera. One exception, that is avodah zarah. The mere thought of avodah zarah, the mere thought of idolatry, is considered a sin itself. So therefore, says the Kedushas Levi, that by avodah zarah, okay, first you bring the korban olah, because by avodah zarah it's considered a ma'isa, it's considered a real avera. Therefore, first you bring the korban olah. The korban olah comes to be mechaper for bad thoughts, and then you bring the chatos, which is for the actual avera, because that's the way it goes. First you have the bad thought, and then you actually do the avera. That's why by avodah zarah it's olah and then chatos.
Olah is about the bad thoughts.
Bad thoughts, and then chatos, because that's for actually doing the avera. Actually doing the avera, in this case avodah zarah. Usually you can't do olah chatos because by another avera, the bad thought is not considered I'm going to explain this second. Now, these korbanos over here, why would the Levim bring korbanos? It was for an atonement for the chet egel, for the golden sin, the golden calf. Okay. Now, usually by avodah zarah, what do we say? You have the olah and then the chatos, because the olah goes for bad thoughts, and then the chatos, because by avodah zarah, by idolatry, even just the bad thought is already enough to that you need a korban. Then you bring the chatos for the actual performance of the avodah zarah, for doing the avera. Good. Now, this is where we get Kedushas Levi did. Hashem knew that when the Jewish people did the egel, He didn't have bad kavanas to do avodah zarah.
You're saying they didn't think about it.
They started off with the red kavanas. Where was Moshe Rabbeinu? The Medrash says they had I think I learned this in school. I don't know if it's a Medrash or Morakavi taught me this, that they had a dream that Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't going to come back, and they needed a leader. So they started off Hashem Shemayim. In the end, they made an ego. Says the Kedushas Levi, a beautiful words. That Hashem knew that Bnei Yisrael meant well. They were mechayev Hashem Shemayim. They wanted to have a mani. They wanted to have a leader. That's why it says that you bring the korban chatos and then you bring the korban ola, just like all the other korbanos. I'll summarize it. By avodah zarah, we say the ola goes before the chatos. So how come over here not? How come over here not? Because we're saying in Kiddush, we're saying that by this case of avodah zarah, it wasn't real avodah zarah. It was like any other avera that you only have to bring a korban once you actually perform the avera, because the mil machshava itself is not considered an avera. You think you're going to drive on Shabbos, but then you don't end up driving it. You don't have to bring a kapara. So, but by avodah zarah you do. I thought by avodah zarah we said that the mere thought to do avodah zarah is already enough to bring a korban. So Kedushas Levi is saying no. The Jewish people were so holy that when they did the Eichel, it wasn't real avodah zarah. They meant the Shem Shemayim.
They didn't think that they didn't have any bad thoughts.
Right. They started off thinking good. Therefore, the procedure is the same as any other korban, where you do the chatas and then you do the olah.